A very good morning to one and all. I hope that you all are keeping safe and healthy at your homes. Now, for today's session, I would like to welcome one of our alumni, Mr. Kapil Meena. He is an IAS officer. So, to start with each child, modern school looks forward to the day when we hear that familiar name linked with great accomplishments. The roar of our team's diligence could be heard in the name of our former student from the batch of 2001, IAS Kapil Meena. He is the Director cum Additional Secretary, Tourism Department for Government of Sikkim. Before this, he has held a number of posts in the Government of India. So, it is a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today. And one request to you all, during the session, if you find that you need to ask any question from Mr. Kapil Meena, then you all can type in your questions in the chat box. So at the end, we will be taking a question and answer round with Mr. Kapil Meena. So we'll take up your questions and we'll ask him those questions and he'll be very happy to answer your questions. So over to you, Kapil.
Yeah.
Yes, Kapil, you can start now.
So hello friends, all students and ex-students and those who are participating from Modern School. I've been an alumni of Modern School, so it gives me great pleasure and it's a wonderful feeling to connect to the students of Modern School and connecting to Meenakshi also. She is my batchmate, classmate. We were passed out of 2001. So I want to welcome you all for this session. I'll not be very formal. I'll be informal, but what I would like to do is to tell you something about my own journey of life till now, especially in terms of academics and how I came into civil services and all. And obviously at the end, then if you have some general questions, we will take up those questions also. And it's a holiday. I'm sitting at home only informally. We all have difficult times right now, COVID times. So hopefully you all are taking precautions. Please be healthy, safe. And I'll start my session. So I would like to tell you that in modern school, I got admission in modern school in the year 1995. So that was 25 years back, you can say now. 95, I got admitted in class 7th. So my journey in modern school starts from class 7. And class 7 to class 12th, 6 wonderful years, 6 years journey in modern school. 95 to 2001, I was in modern school. I was a student of modern school, and I passed my class 12th from modern. So it has been wonderful memories. We all have wonderful memories of school. Of course, I have not been in touch with many of my batchmates, classmates after the school because we all went in different fields. And currently it is again very nice to see that we have a group of our class of 2001, which has been made. Meenakshi is taking the lead in that, so I want to thank Meenakshi for that also. And we are getting to connect to our batchmates again after a long time, maybe even after 20 years of time. So 95 to 2001, I was in modern school. I would like to tell you one thing to start with, so that you know that from what background I come. I came from a rural place and got admitted in modern school in class 7th. It was very difficult phase for me when I was in modern school in the starting, because you can imagine somebody coming from a small place and not having a good background, very strong this thing, and then getting into a school which was kind of one of the best school in Kota, and getting to know people from a city and coming from a rural background. So that is the background in which I came. Now, modern school I joined in 95 in class 7th. Academically also it was difficult for me. In studies also starting it was very difficult to cope up with all the things, new teachers, everyone speaking English, and difficult phase for me at least for 2 years, 7th and 8th class. I had to really struggle to do decently in my academics also. So that is how I started, and then made many friends. We used to do all masti, and it was a wonderful life of modern school then. And academically, if I tell you, in school I was kind of an average student, not a topper always, but from class 9th I remember, class 9th and 10th and 11th 12th started getting the rank. So we used to get only 10 ranks. I don't know what is the system now. So we used to get only rank 1 to rank 10, and others didn't used to get ranks. So I started getting rank somewhere in class 9th and 11th, and then academically I improved. Class 10th and class 12th, I want to tell you my percentage also. I was an average student, so I was always that 70-75% kind of a person. So that continued for me even in my college also. So not a topper. And that times, of course, nowadays you get your grades in A and A plus, and percentages even 90 and above. But in our times maybe it was little lesser. There was more you used to get a little lesser marks. So mine was always 75% in my class 10th. I remember in boards from modern, I got 75%. In class 12th also I got 75%. So it was almost the same percentage which I got in class 10th and class 12th. But yes, it was for me, I feel that my English, or you can say academically, otherwise also getting the confidence, improving academically, getting the confidence of facing the world, that is what I got from modern school. If I was not a part of this school from class 7th, maybe my destiny would have been little different again. So after school, again I had another struggle. I took bio, since we had only biology, and then we had mathematics. I think even commerce also in modern school that time started from our times, or maybe 1 or 2 years later. So I'm not sure of that, but mainly it was either you are taking mathematics or bio in class 11th. So I took bio because I was afraid from mathematics. I was afraid from mathematics. So took bio, and then then class 11th and 12th with physics, chemistry, bio. Did this thing senior secondary level, and then I passed. After that, again, it was a difficult situation for me because I prepared for medical. That time, if you take bio, it was the only option with you was to give a pre-medical exam, PMT. So for PMT, I started preparing. Again, I'll tell you that in life, there are certain things in which you find a lot of interest and your passion. And there are certain things which you do maybe out of just a compulsion, or just because just because your family wants it, or just because you are under some compulsion. So I took biology. I used to like bio, but then I was not interested to become a doctor. That is what I feel. And I had that time, if you see, in that phase of life, 11 12th, we used to be interested in going into army. So that one new thing came up, was going into army. So I gave this NDA exam also, and later in college also I gave this CDS exam, which many of the guys, boys, they want to go into army. You get that motivation sometimes from movies and some other things. So then prepared for medical, and in medical preparation I was in Kota only, and then I did coaching from Ellen. We all know Ellen in Kota. And then My family also, my parents, they came to Kota that time. They used to stay there. So not very good academics and not a very great interest in becoming a doctor, because since my father is also a doctor, he retired from government service. So father being a doctor, my father always used to tell me that you should not go into this field. Don't be a doctor, do something else. Sometimes parents used to say that okay, maybe you can try for civil services in coming times. I used to have some interest. Yes, I will say that I had some interest in preparing for civil services in some point of life, but then we all were very confused and very um, we were in that same phase which you all face, which you all face, sorry. And in school nobody knows what career he or she is going to pursue, because your mind keeps on going here and there. So I prepared for medical. I'll tell you, I prepared for medical in the year 2001. We passed out from 12th. So for 2 years, I prepared for medical exam. 2002 I gave, 2003 I gave, and for 2 years I could not get through medical exam. So this is again something which was a failure, you can say, and something which is now if you see it will look surprising to everyone. But then I could not pass through. I could not get through in any good college in medical. And then yes, I got some private seat in some medical college through some CET something. But then obviously I didn't want to go in that. One interest which I had that time was to go in maybe AFMC, which is Armed Forces Medical College, because there was some interest, some passion for army that time, I told you. So becoming an army person and becoming a doctor was looking like a good option, better option, interesting option, rather than becoming just a doctor. So 2 years of my life, you can say, got wasted. You can't. I really don't find it to be wasted, because through that phase of preparing for medical, when you're doing so much of preparation, going to classes, doing your self studies, at least 8 to 10 hours of your studies, that phase again was important for me, because at later stage I had to do that thing for civil services. So 2 years I gave for that, and then I went into a different field. I qualified in an exam 2003, which was for agriculture field, which is again a different field, but again the same exam pattern. So bio, physics, chemistry, the same competition. So I got through this ICAR exam, Indian Council of Agriculture Research exam. It happens every year like PMT, and in that you go into agriculture courses, which is again not a very lucrative or a very attractive field. It is a totally different field. But I didn't had many options in my hand, because 2 years I had already wasted. So I had to get admission into a college. 2003 I went into my college, which was again in agriculture. It was one of the good colleges, said to be one of the best universities, GB Pant University of Agriculture. It is situated in Uttarakhand. It is in Uttarakhand, Pantnagar. So Pantnagar University, I went in 2003 after wasting my 2 years after class 12th. So you can see 2 years of time gone into medical preparation, but no selection. Then 2003, I went into my college, and 3 to 7, it is a 4 years degree course, BSc Agriculture. It is a honors degree. So BSc Agriculture degree I did in college. Now comes my phase of life when something different I needed to do, because I always used to feel that I was good in academics, and then I never used to give so much of time to studies. We all know we do like that in college and school, that we'll do one night fight kind of thing. We'll just study for the final exam, and otherwise we are all enjoying. We are all with our friends doing all sorts of things, which is again, that is also important in life. You should enjoy your life as much as possible. But yes, we need to do something good, something significant in our career also, and that should be as per our own interest and our own क्या बोलते हैं, passion. As per your own passion in life, you should do something. if you do something which is of interest to you, which makes you makes you feel motivated, I think we become successful in that particular field. So I had an interest for civil services during you can say school time also, little bit. I used to read newspapers. That was one thing which was always there in me, maybe came from my parents, but then I used to read newspapers during my school time also, and I used to find this general studies or general knowledge things very interesting. So I used to study those maps and all. So something of geography, something of history used to be interesting to me during school and during college. Now in college again, till almost third year of our college, we were not sure of what we are going to do, what I was going to do in future. So you can see it was so late in life that I decided what I want to do. Again, college is of 4 years. So 4 years college, again you all do masti and things like that, and then career comes last. Only at the last of your college you start thinking, now I should go for a job or I should go for some higher education, something. So what I did is in my third year of college, that was around 2006 year, I started thinking very deeply and very uh, I was tensed at that moment that what I should do now, because civil services was there in my mind, and then going into army or some other field was also there in your mind. And then there are different fields which our college batchmates used to take there. Most of them used to do MBA from my college. Most of them used to go for MBA after degree, and then they used to go into private sector. So that was one thing. Another thing was going for higher degrees. Like I did my BSc agriculture, so I could have done my MSc agriculture. Again, going into agriculture field only, becoming a scientist, you can say agriculture scientist, doing your MSc, then doing a PhD. So I was not interested into that, but that option was there. Third thing was one thing which I got was a job placement, a campus placement. So it was first time in our college that company came, and we, four of us, my batchmates, we got job placement also. So I was very confused in my third year and fourth year of college, that whether I should go for my job or whether I should go for my higher studies. That option is there, or whether I should go directly and prepare for civil services, going to Delhi and preparing for civil services. So what I did was I started my preparation for civil services in fourth year of my college, from year 2006, you can say, little bit, because that was the same preparation even for exam like CDS, which was for army, or for even for my MSc also I needed to prepare. So I started preparing. First I thought of giving forest service exam. There is an exam which is called exam for IFS, Indian Forest Services. That is a different exam from civil services. Main IAS IPS exam is different, and that is different. So then I started preparing for forest services, and within the college time only, I thought I have to go for civil services. I have to give UPSC civil services exam only directly, and not only forest service exam. And in the year 2007, when I passed out, I took a risk. I took biggest risk of my life, and which gave me the biggest reward also of my life, I feel, was that I got a campus placement. I didn't join my job. I didn't go and join. Another thing was I got admission for my PG MSc also, which again I left. I didn't join. Third thing was doing anything else. I gave CDS exam. Again, I could not qualify in that. So maybe if I would have gone, if I would have got selected in army, I might have gone into that that time. What I feel today is, otherwise there was only one other option, which was a risk, was that leaving everything aside and going to Delhi to prepare for civil services without having any job, without having any other thing to do. It is only 24 hours preparation for civil services. So I asked my parents. One advantage which I find was there with me in my family was Of course, I had a good education from modern school, my college, and I was very confident also that if I do something with full dedication, I can do it. But the biggest advantage for me was the support and the support system which I got from my parents. That is the most important thing, which not everyone gets, because you see in civil services there are people who come from small villages also, and they do preparation, they have to leave their preparation, they don't get selected because there is family pressure, because there is a lot of pressure to do your higher education or to join your job, do some job. Along with job they say okay, job ke saath mein tayari kar lo. But again, civil services is something in which you need full dedication, and so much of hard work is required. Otherwise, there is so much of competition. It is said to be one of the toughest exam, not only in India, but some people say it is one of the toughest exam in the world. So preparing for that requires 100% dedication, devotion from anybody. He might be a topper, he might be an average student, that doesn't matter much. So what I did was 2000, in the year 2007, passing out from my college, I asked my parents. My parents were very supportive. My parents said, okay, if you want to prepare for civil services, you want to go to Delhi and do coaching and all, you go and do it. At least give your 100%, prepare for 1 or 2 years, then you can decide. If you don't get through, or if you are not able to do it, then you can leave it and do something else. So because in civil services it is a big risk and it is very tough, so nobody knows whether you will get through in this exam or not. Nobody can be sure. It is very different kind of exam, and so much of competition. So every year, if you see, more than 5 lakh aspirants, or you can say those who are preparing, more than 5 lakh students, college graduates, they appear in this exam. And you get through only 800, 900 or 1000 of them, they are lucky enough to get through this exam, and they come out as selected candidates, and they get different services. Again, in civil services also, the topmost service which is given the first priority by everyone is Indian administrative service, in which you get to work in all the different departments, all different ministries, all different fields, and you become the district collector, district magistrate, and so many other things. And you go to higher levels, you senior at senior levels, you become secretaries of various departments. So IAS is the first preferred choice, but then again, for getting into IAS, you need to get a very good rank in the exam. So it is not only qualifying the exam through getting into those 1000 lucky guys, but it is also getting a good rank to get into IAS, or maybe second priority for most of our people will be IPS, getting into police service. And then you have so many other services, revenue service and defense services, so many services through the same exam. The recruitment happens. So I gave I went to Delhi in 2007, and then yes, I did coaching. I did one coaching. That coaching also I felt was not so good, and didn't help me so much. But yes, when you are going from zero, because I started from zero at that point of time, and when you start preparing for civil services, you need a direction. You need a direction, and you need to get the idea of this exam properly. So for that, coaching is also helpful in that. Nowadays, you have online coaching options also, which is again good. But more important, much more important than any coaching is your own hard work. Your own hard work, your own dedication. You need to sit in a room, you need to get the material, and then you need to study, you need to analyze, you need to write answers to the various kind of questions. You need to do answer writing practice, you need to see last year question papers, you need to read, revise, and remember so many facts and figures. So it is your hard work and your personal dedication. Not any coaching and guidance from others can help you. It can only give you some help, but ultimately, if you want to get selected in this exam, it is your own hard work which has to be done. in 100% devotion and dedication. So I did that. I went to Delhi, did some coaching for 4 or 5 months. You will also be surprised to know that half of the time in my preparation of those 2 3 years, I was in Kota only. So I spend half of my time in Kota, half of my time in Delhi, because in Delhi, again, living in Delhi is a difficult thing. You don't get good food. You have so many problems. You always want to go back to your home, family. You want to get your mother's food. तो वो सब चीजें होती हैं. So I was there in Delhi for initially for only 6 months. Did my coaching, everything. I got a idea of the whole exam. I got notes. I got all the books, all the study material which I needed, and that is most important, which you need from Delhi, because that only Delhi can give you those coachings, material, everything is available. So I stayed in Delhi and then I came back to Kota. So my first attempt which I gave for civil services was in the year 2008. After 1 year of full preparation, I gave my first attempt in the year 2008, and that attempt I remember I gave from the center in Jaipur, because Kota didn't used to have a center also. कोटा में तो सेंटर भी नहीं होता था उस टाइम पे. अभी आई डोंट नो. Exam also again I gave from Jaipur. I was lucky also. Plus I prepared as much as possible, but my preparation was not very good in my first attempt. It happens with everyone, because you need at least a minimum of 2 years of very strong, solid preparation for kind of qualifying or for reaching to the stage of mains and interview and getting selected. So I gave my first attempt with whatever preparation I could do from Jaipur, and I was lucky. I gave prelims, I qualified prelims, I gave mains, and I qualified mains exam also, which I was not expecting actually. So I qualified my mains exam also, and I could give my final interview, which is the final stage of civil services, in my first attempt itself. So that was kind of an achievement, and that was kind of a motivation factor also. And then I was sure that if I give my second attempt with more preparation, back to Delhi. And in my second attempt, I was in Delhi most of the time, because I wanted to do test series. I wanted to get more material. I wanted to be more focused, and my target was that I will give my 100%, whatever is possible for me. I'll give it my 100%, so that after the second attempt, I don't have to give my third one. And even if I don't get selected, I used to think that I will go into some other field. I'll do something else, because civil services is something of luck also. It is difficult, and then it is not something for which other fields also gets you can say exhausted, or you don't find other good jobs, other good opportunities if you lose your age. So that is also very important. So in the first attempt giving interview, but I didn't get through, didn't get selected in my first attempt, but I reached till the final stage, so it was a big motivation. Second attempt again went to Delhi, gave my prelims in Delhi, mains also in Delhi. After giving my mains exam, I came back to Kota. My residence, my parents live in Kota only, so came back to Kota again in second attempt, because my performance was obviously better in mains exam. I was sure of getting an interview call. So then again I went to Delhi, did my mock interviews, prepared for interview, and again gave the interview. And I got through. I got selected in my second attempt, and with luck, my rank was also good, so I could get through into IAS. So the service of your choice, which you want, is your first choice is Indian Administrative Service. So I got Indian Administrative Service. Otherwise, if that service was not there, if I got through in some other service again, फिर आपके दिमाग में आता है, you start thinking that you should give the exam again, you should improve, because service IAS again is very different from other services. So this is how my journey went, and I could qualify the exam in my second attempt with maybe around 3 years of total preparation. But it depends. Many people get through in their first attempt, many people take their third or fourth attempt, or even more than that also. Nowadays you have age bar, you have number of attempts are also limited. Then it depends on your category. For general category, OBC category, there are certain different criterias. But ultimately the exam is all about your perseverance, your hard work, your dedication to the field. And what I feel is, unless you want to be a civil servant from your heart, unless you want to serve the society, you want to do something good for people, you want to get into the services for good reasons, not for bad reasons, but for good reasons. If you want to come into services for good reasons and you have a strong motivation, and unless you enjoy that phase of your preparation when you are preparing for the exam, unless you enjoy reading those books, unless you enjoy reading those material, reading various things in general studies, general knowledge, unless you enjoy it, you won't, you can't do it. And another thing is, you need to give your 100% to it. You will not be able to do it along with your job or some other, maybe your PG or PhD. With that, again, it becomes very difficult, and it is a difficult exam, and it is something of luck also. But luck is only a small part. Main is your own hard work and your own dedication to this particular thing. So this is what was my story in brief. And after that, in 2009 exam, I have qualified. So I joined my service IAS in 2010. In the year 2010, I have joined my service. So it is 10 years of service now already. 10 years into the service, and I got Sikkim cadre. Sikkim is a very small state, if you all know. Beautiful state, but a very small state, and Sikkim is a different cadre, so you get one state cadre in our service. So I got Sikkim cadre, and now I am serving in Sikkim for last 9 years. I came here in 2011 after my training, and last 9 years I have been district collector for two different districts. I conducted general elections 2019. I have hosted Honorable Prime Minister in my district here once as a DM, which is again a very rare opportunity you get, and many other things. So I have loved the job till now, and we all know it is a great service. It is a great opportunity where you can serve the society. You can do so many things for the society in these services, civil services. So been a very good journey. I have been in different departments. I've been in district. I have been in departments. Right now, few days back, I was director higher education, looking after colleges in Sikkim. Right now, I am director in tourism department. So because of COVID situation, obviously government departments are also not functioning much, and we don't have tourists also coming. It is all banned and stopped. But hopefully in some months, 2 or 3 months, the situation will improve and we'll all get back to our work. So this is what in brief I wanted to tell about my story. Not very formal, just in an informal way. And maybe we can take up questions, queries now, because maybe I'll stop my main interaction here only.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, Kapil. It was a very enlightening session for our students. I hope many children who had a lot of queries in their mind that how they can clear the civil services exams or how to prepare for them. They must have got a lot of info from that. Now we have got a few questions from our students, so I'll start one by one. There is a question from Satyam. Okay, so as you told us that your journey has been a roller coaster, switching from one field to another and all these things. So he is asking that was there a time in your life when you felt broken from inside and you got fear from your failures that I'm not able to do this?
Yeah, obviously. We all have those moments, and if I recall, maybe it has happened twice with me before my preparation only. It has happened twice with me. Once would be that phase when I was preparing for medical, and you can imagine after class 12th you are preparing for your medical, and the first year I didn't get through any exam, didn't get through PMT. Second year also in PMT I didn't get any good rank, so not getting any good medical college. So that was one phase where I thought, yes, I studied, I did hard work for first time. स्कूल में तो पढ़ते ही नहीं थे, लेकिन ये है कि उस टाइम पे पढ़ा पहली बार. तो when you are doing hard work and you didn't get the results, that was one moment where I felt, yes, maybe I need to improve, and maybe I don't know what is wrong, something is wrong, and felt broken also at that point of time. And second phase, I will say, when I was in college. And in college, I'll tell you, in college also we never used to study. Nobody studies in a college, we know. But we had our gang of 10, 12 people who always used to do all the parties and masti and all other stuff, but not studying and not very good in academics. We used to do other extracurricular activities. We had a dance group also where we used to do some dances, cultural programs. So many things happen. But then when I was in final year of my college, or you can say in the third year, and when I was very confused of what career I should go for, because I wanted to prepare for civil services once, and that was what parents also motivated, that if you want, if you feel, you should do it. But I was not confident of myself because I was never very good academically, and it was a big challenge for us. So again, that third year or fourth year wala phase was again a phase of frustration for me also. And it was a phase of frustration where I thought, I can't do anything, and how I can take a risk of going for civil services. So that was one phase. These were the two phases where I felt broken and mentally also stressed also a little bit. And plus, it was very frustrating and a bad phase. So everyone has those phases, and I have had my own. So this is what.
Okay, but you came out of it really well.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the frustration and all.
We need to
Now,
be strong, and what I feel is we need to be mentally strong, and we need to trust on whatever qualities we have. So we should identify, we have some powers, we have some qualities, and with hard work, with motivation, we can do anything in life. And once you decide that I have to do so, then there is no looking back. Then you can only look forward, and you have to do it. So we should not feel that we are weak or we can't do it. Everything is possible in life, we know.
thank you.
Yeah.
Now, the next question is from a parent that what shall we do if one wants to change the field and appear for UPSC after the post graduation? Is it necessary to join any coaching or self study is good enough for that?
See, I was telling this in my interaction also, that coaching is just for giving you a direction. So if you want to prepare for civil services, and if you are not at all knowing anything about civil services, you want to get started. For starting your preparation, coaching plays a role. So coaching is that ways, it is important that it will make your it will give you material, it will give you all the study things, what you need to study, books, everything you'll know. Plus in coaching you get that atmosphere of competition, that is also one advantage. But self study is the main thing. if you are not able to do your self studies properly, then coaching will not do anything. So coaching has a limited role. And I have seen people, and right now if I will tell you about UPSC civil services pattern, it is changed. During my time it was a different pattern, now it is totally very different pattern. And in this latest pattern, the civil services, the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, is changing the pattern of exam, thinking that coaching should not play a role. So this is what has happened in medical and engineering field also. We know, to discourage all these coachings, government has changed the pattern many times, and it has made things which are not so dependent on coaching. So the new pattern of civil services again is not very coaching friendly. And another thing is your self studies is most important. In terms of coaching, what I will tell right now is you have very good online coaching options also. So if somebody wants to prepare, he can prepare at home. You can prepare at any place. You can be in your home also, and you can prepare and do online coachings and test series and all. So that is more helpful rather than doing those 1 year 2 year classroom coachings and all, because coaching alone will not give you the result. That is what I feel.
Okay. Now there are a few questions from students regarding the interview part. We have all heard that the interview part in the civil services exams is a bit hard. They say that they ask really different and tricky questions. So what was your experience and how the children can prepare for the interview of these services?
See, I gave 2 interviews, so I was lucky to give 2 interviews in 2 attempts. But yeah, interview is a different experience altogether. Wonderful experience. Interviews are difficult. Interviews can be very grilling also. It depends. Sometimes they are very easy going. So it all depends on the board members and this thing who are sitting, and what questions they ask, plus what answers you give. So it is a different experience. But yes, interviews are tough in the sense that those people who are sitting in the interview board are very illustrious people. They are very knowledgeable people. They are very experienced people. They are from different fields. They are normally you have 5 persons in that board, and those 5 people are from 5 different fields, and they are like pioneers of their own field. Some of them may be scientists, some of them is UPSC member who is a bureaucrat, somebody might be from various other fields. So my experience of interview is very unique, in the sense that I gave 2 interviews, and my first interview and second interview are very different. So first interview when I gave, which was not with very much of preparation, because it was my first attempt. I was not expecting a selection also, but I gave my interview, and that interview was kind of very grilling. So grilling interview I got in first attempt, and in second attempt when I gave, it was a very easy going kind of interview, in which they asked me about my optional subject, my graduation subject, which was agriculture. So they asked me very generalized questions. So what should be the agriculture policy of the country? What reforms are required? So anybody can answer those questions. So they make a perception of you. In interview, you have so many things. Your body language is very important. How you answer is important. Your dressing is important. The way you speak is important. The way you put forward your point, whether you are very confused or you are clear in your ideas, that is important. So there are many things for interview, but what I will suggest to him or her, whoever has asked this question about interview, is that don't worry about interview at this stage. Interview is the last stage. It is a part of the total assessment, and which is a smaller part. So out of around 2000 marks or something, interview carries only 275 or 300 marks. So it is only a small part of your this thing. And plus, nobody can be confident in an interview is like a gamble, because in interview you can't say I will get 200 marks out of 300, and that is short I will get. So what I realized after my first attempt was that interview is always going to be tricky. They might give me very less marks in interview, so I need to prepare well in my mains exam, which is your which is matlab, you can do it, because if you perform well in your mains exam, you will get good marks. So it is in your hands. Interview is not in your hand. Interview will reflect your overall personality. If your overall personality is very good, if you have done good things in life, if you have participated in a lot of things, if you are confident and all, you will get decent enough marks in interview. But you can't be sure of your interview marks at all, whether you are a topper or whether you are very good or very bad. But mains and your prelims exam is just qualifying, so uska to add nahi hota hai, but mains exam is most important. So what I realized in my second attempt is I need to do my mains so well that even in interview I get less marks, I should get selected. And that is what happened with me in both the attempts. I've got exactly same marks in both my attempts, which is again surprising, because both my interviews are very different. First interview I thought I'll get very less marks. I got 150 out of 300. So 150 I was expecting कि हाँ ठीक है 150 160 ऐसे ही कुछ मिलेगा first में. But second attempt में, because I was so well prepared and so polished and furnished, and then I gave my second interview. Again the interview was totally different type. I thought interview went very well, and then I got exactly 150 again. So same marks मिले दोनों attempt में, which is again surprising. So 150 in first attempt, 150 in second attempt, which is very less. You should get at least around 180, 190, 200 marks out of 300. So I got 150 in interview, but my mains numbers were very good. My mains marks were very good, and because of that only I got selected also, and I got a decent enough rank to get into IAS. So not to worry much about interview, that you will do well. If you do well in your exam, you will do well in your interview also.
Yes, that's right. The interviews are unpredictable.
Unpredictable, yes, unpredictable.
We have a question from one of our class 7 student, Kavya, and she's saying that my dream is to be an IAS officer. So how can I fulfill that dream? That from now on, how can she prepare for her dream? Any tips for preparing for IAS from 7th onwards?
Class 7th. See, class 7th, I don't think she should be preparing. Preparing is, I don't think you should prepare in such a young stage. Yes, if she wants to become an IAS, let her live her life first, and then maybe her idea will change also. हमारे targets भी तो change होते रहते हैं. I remember there was a time in I think maybe class 4 5 or something, when I was very small and I used to read newspaper. My father used to say कि अरे भाई ये तो जो है बाद में IAS वाईएएस बनेगा या एग्जाम देगा या कुछ करेगा. तो उस तरह का होता है कभी कभी. I also used to have that interest maybe in childhood. Again it got lost during your school and your college and everything. Ultimately preparation is only at later stage. But what I will suggest to all the students is, yes, one thing which can be done is, if you are interested in around class 9 class 10th, if you are really interested and you want to go into civil services only, you don't see other options in your career, then from class 11th and 12th you can maybe start preparing. The preparing is taking interest. Basic thing is, you can take interest at a young age in general knowledge. So you should have interest in general knowledge. आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, न्यूज़पेपर्स पढ़ना और उसको मतलब उसको ढंग से इंटरेस्टिंग तरीके से पढ़ना, उसमें इंटरेस्ट लेना. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द वर्ल्ड, क्या हो रहा है इंडिया में, वर्ल्ड में क्या क्या हैपनिंग्स हो रही हैं. रीडिंग सम गुड न्यूज़पेपर्स लाइक हिंदू और इंडियन एक्सप्रेस और even Times of India is also fine. So reading some English ka good newspaper, and then reading some local newspaper also, taking interest into general knowledge. Then what he or she can do is reading those NCERT books. Not in class 7th, but I will say maybe when you reach around class 11th or something, 10th or 11th, then reading NCERT. That is how we start. When we start preparing, when I started in my colleges, you have to start reading newspapers daily. Then you have to start reading NCERT books of history, of geography, of social sciences का जो होता है सारा जनरल स्टडीज में आता है, वो सारे उनके एनसीईआरटी बुक्स क्लास 6th से लेके क्लास 12th तक की जो एनसीईआरटी बुक्स हैं, दैट slowly you can cover. Another thing is, then at a next stage, then you can start reading some current affair magazines. So current affair की magazines आती हैं बहुत सारी, civil services chronicle, civil services, Times. There are so many magazines which are current affair magazines. तो न्यूज़पेपर और मैगजीन पढ़ना वो आपको मतलब इंटरेस्ट देगा. यू विल स्टार्ट गेटिंग इंटरेस्ट इन जनरल स्टडीज. तो पहले तो जनरल स्टडीज में अपना इंटरेस्ट बनाना है कि हाँ आई फाइंड इट इंटरेस्टिंग टू रीड एंड देन आई नो अबाउट हिस्ट्री, आई नो अबाउट ज्योग्राफी. पहले वो इंटरेस्ट जनरेट करके एंड देन ऑब्वियसली एट अ लेटर स्टेज देन यू थिंक अबाउट योर ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट एंड अदर पोर्शन ऑफ द एग्जाम. So if she wants to really start right now, she can start reading newspapers and magazines. Fine.
Okay. Now there is one question from Akshari Meena. He is asking that when you prepare for IAS, there are times that when you get demotivated in between. So he's asking that how did you manage to keep up the consistency and motivation during the IAS preparation?
See, phase of preparation is very difficult. Yes, we all have to acknowledge that. During preparation, because I told you I came as an average student, I came from a background where I was not doing any studies. I was not very much into studies and all. In college also, we are all doing those, enjoying our college life. But then the thing is, during the preparation phase, yes, you have different phases. It happens very regularly that you feel अरे ये तो पढ़ा ही नहीं जा रहा है, कुछ इंटरेस्ट नहीं आ रहा है. कभी आपका जो है you want to study for 12 hours in a day but you are only able to study for 6 hours. फिर कभी तबीयत खराब हो गई या कुछ और हो गया या मतलब keep your consistency and you feel motive. What I used to feel motivated was I used to read books and all. When I used to read about history, when I used to read about freedom struggle, from that only I used to get motivation. So that is how you get motivation. You read about some good people, you read about APJ Abdul Kalam, you read about some great leaders, उनकी books आप बीच में कुछ पढ़ो. There are various ways you can do it, but you have to find those ways of getting motivated, and those phases of motivation demotivation comes in everyone's life. So I used to feel motivated by studies only. I used to feel motivated by reading history, by reading geography, and by thinking that how much struggle people have done in their lives. So the struggle which we are doing in studying and reading is nothing in front of that. So that is how I used to feel motivated.
Yeah, right. Reading, obviously, it motivates us a lot if you read good books. Now
Yes.
we'll be taking the last question for the session. There is one child who has asked that if suppose civil services didn't work, then did you had any plan B?
No, I told you I took a very big risk and there was no plan B as such. There was no plan B as such because for me it was do or die kind of situation. That is how I did it. Otherwise, a person like me would not have been able to do it. That is what I feel. Plan B in the sense when I was giving my second attempt, I was confident. So I had this confidence that I'll get through, I'll get selected. Obviously you can't be confident of your final selection 100% and you can't be confident of your rank and surveys and everything. So in second attempt I was feeling that ये इस बार जो है बिल्कुल 100% देना है और इसके बाद में हो भी नहीं पाएगा because there is a limit to your capacities and your strength also. You can't keep on doing 100% for so many years. तो सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट के बाद में थोड़ा थोड़ा सोचते थे क्या करना है, कोई एग्जाम देंगे नहीं तो एमबीए करेंगे बाद में, मे बी डू एमबीए एंड डू सम जॉब एंड देन I used to feel that I will see only after if I am not selected, then only I'll think what I need to do next. But I had taken a big risk and there was no plan B in the sense that there was no this thing that कि भाई साथ में आप किसी और की तैयारी भी कर रहे हो, कुछ और भी कर रहे हो, because I didn't wanted to feel that distraction of going anywhere else. I will tell you during my preparation I gave RS exam also, Rajasthan Administrative Service exam also, and that too I used to feel कि यार क्यों दिया exam because उसमें भी थोड़ी energy अलग से जाती है तेरे exam is little bit different. The pattern is little bit different. You need to read about Rajasthan and all also. So I gave RS exam, but I didn't prepare specifically for that. And I got through in RS exam also. Before my final selection in civil services, I got through in RS final selection interview, and then got into the selected list. But obviously my rank was very low, on the lower side. So I was not getting main RS. I was getting some other service, some other subordinate service, something. But even if I was getting RS, I was sure that I will not leave this preparation, because you can't leave your dream. If you are taken so much of risk for that thing, you need to finish it off. So I thought second attempt में 100% देना है. 100% देने के बाद में अगर नहीं होता है, then I know that I can't qualify. I will not be qualify this exam. I can't qualify. And then I'll think about my plan B and C, but there was no plan B as such. There was no plan B.
Yeah, right. Sometimes it happens. If we have plan B, we get then the motivation it decreases. Like we have a plan after this, so it is a do and die. If you keep it like that, then you focus more on that. Okay.
You achieve it. If you keep it do or die, then you do it only. You don't die.
Yes. Okay, so thank you so much, Kapil, for taking out time from your busy schedule and helping our children so that they can prepare if any of them want for the civil services exam. And I believe that our students, they can benefit immediately from this online session. Thanks a lot. Thank you all the audience who participated in this session. And I hope you all keep healthy and safe and sound at home. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you to all for patiently listening. I was a bit long and this thing, not very organized also, but thank you very much for your participation. And anything required from my side and preparation, especially for civil services, I'll always be happy to help. And hopefully we'll visit modern school also soon. I have not visited modern school for many years, maybe not
We
only
are waiting
once. Maybe.
forward. Yeah, we are waiting forward to host you as soon as this ends and it all gets better
Yeah.
soon, hopefully.
I keep coming to Kota. I keep coming to Kota, so we can have, if you want, a session there also next time. If there is time and all, I can inform.
Yeah,
So thank
sure,
you all,
sure.
and yeah, all be safe and do your studies well. Enjoy your life. And for civil services, if you are thinking, it is very good.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, modern school being such a pioneer school in Kota, we don't have many civil servants who have gone into civil services from modern school. I don't find many. There must be very few, and I don't know who else is there into services like IAS and IPS. So I really want to see that more modernites come into civil services, make our school proud in
yeah,
future.
definitely. We hope for the same. Thank you, Kapil. Thank you, everyone. So we are
Thank you.
ending the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.